Tonight, the News 8 investigators asking tough questions and getting answers to find out what happens when attorneys are accused of not doing what they're hired to do.
Well, Chief Investigator David Iverson breaks it down for us with a look at one attorney who's being sued by his clients.
If ever you find yourself heading into a courtroom, chances are you've already spent a lot of time preparing and a lot of money on attorney's fees. But what happens if your attorney isn't prepared? The state has what we'll call the lawyer complaint department. What we're finding is that consumers are taking different routes when they're not happy, and that's what the state does not see or take into account. For one client of one attorney, there is no mincing words when asked about the legal counsel her family received.
If he was not an attorney, he'd be in jail.
In jail for what she says wasn't done. Donna DeMuro and her family filed a grievance complaint against an attorney they hired. They paid $10,000, but says their attorney didn't file basic paperwork.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a victim and my daughter's a victim.
He got me at probably my most vulnerable point in my entire life, and I put everything into him, all my trust into him.
These two women have a lot in common. They hired the same attorney, both claim he didn't do what he agreed to do, and both of these women have filed complaints against him. They hired this man, Stephen Barber, to represent them, and they are just two of more than a dozen grievance complaints and lawsuits against the Cromwell attorney. DeMauro's daughter filed one of 6 grievance complaints that came in just a few-month period. Eventually, Barber was ordered by the courts to pay DeMauro's family back more than $2,000.
There is what we refer to as the frequent flyer.
The state's grievance council collects grievance complaints. In 2013, the state registered 944 attorney complaints. If there's something to the complaint, they can be fined, sent to ethics classes, even lose their law license. We wanted to talk to Barber about the complaints and lawsuits he's faced from former clients. After 5 calls and emails went unreturned, we found him in his Cromwell office.
About the number of complaints that...
I gotta go. Thank you.
Is the system that's supposed to protect consumers really working?
I think the system works.
Patricia King runs the disciplinary council. It is her office that handles complaints against attorneys. They don't look at lawsuits against him or things like this. This is Cromwell police pulling Barber over in December 2013 for a suspected DUI. He was arrested on the charge after failing field sobriety tests, but it was reduced later to a failure to drive right. Barber paid $50 and had his license suspended for 24 hours before the state decided not to pursue the DUI charge. All the state sees is the complaints, and in Barber's case, he was sick, so even though he had 6 pending complaints, it never rose to the next level.
Almost all of the conduct involving the total of 6 grievance complaints occurred during the year when the attorney was suffering from some very serious health problems.
People get hurt, and it seems so unfair for someone to continue to have a license when they're not representing their clients fairly and properly.
Sonia Cabin never filed a complaint with disciplinary counsel. She sued Barber for $90,000. After her Woodbridge house burned, she hired Barber to fight the insurance company. Her lawsuit alleges Barber didn't file the paperwork before the statute of limitations ran out. Cabin's suit fell apart. She says all because of Barber.
They're giving him a license to steal.
Barber is going to be in court a few times this month, not as an attorney, but as a defendant. Once for that lawsuit about the burned down house, and once again for another complaint. If you want to find out about your attorney, we've put a link on our website, WTNH.com. For the News 8 investigators, David Iverson reporting.
Well, do you have something you want the News 8 investigators to look into? Just give them a call. The number is there on your screen. That tip line is 203-402-TIP-8.